Ja nyt sitten ryhmien puheenjohtajat. Puheenjohtaja Weber, olkaa hyvä, teillä puheenvuoro. EPP-ryhmä.
Madam President, Mr. Vice President, the Minister, Schengen, yes, Schengen is a great success story for Europe. It has broken down barriers, brought European citizens closer together and strengthened our European economy. With Bulgaria and Romania, we have 2 EU member states who fulfill all conditions to join this area. They are ready for Schengen, but they are still waiting for Council's green light. Since 2011, 11 years, no progress. This is simply unacceptable. We as EPP, like I think all parties in this House, we strongly support Romania and Bulgaria becoming member of the Schengen area. And we have always fought as EPP for this endeavor. Romania and Bulgaria's place is within Schengen. Especially now, when we face many humanitarian and security challenges at the EU borders. For us, there is no first and second class European. There are no objective reasons to deny Bulgaria and Romania to this success. They have made all necessary steps, and let me assure our friends in Sofia and Bucharest, you have our EPP full support. Your place is within Schengen. We call now on the Council to finally grant Bulgaria and Romania the access they deserve. And especially the war is again a test for us, whether we can re-strengthen unity. And this Schengen enlargement is a test for this, is a test case for this. The years of waiting must come to an end. We need no more excuses, but actions. With the 2 countries joining Schengen, we can better protect our external borders and strengthen the whole Schengen area. Let us continue the Schengen success story with Bulgaria and Romania on board, and let's do it now.
Kiitokset edustaja puheenjohtaja Weber, ja sitten SND-ryhmän nimissä puhuu edustaja García Pérez. Olkaa hyvä.
Gracias, presidenta. 11 años. 11 años llevan esperando Bulgaria y Rumanía sin que exista ninguna razón objetiva para bloquear su entrada en Schengen. La libertad de movimiento, como ya hemos escuchado aquí, es uno de los pilares fundamentales de nuestra Unión, y los ciudadanos de Bulgaria y de Rumanía tienen el mismo derecho que los de otros Estados miembros. No tienen más derechos, pero tampoco menos. Es una cuestión de justicia. No puede ser que un ciudadano búlgaro que vive en otro Estado de la Unión y quiere viajar a su país en coche tenga que estar pasando controles en las fronteras. Es discriminatorio. Es discriminatorio que tengan que pasar por colas diferentes en algunos aeropuertos. Es discriminatorio y además tiene un coste económico que los camiones rumanos tengan que esperar colas para pasar controles fronterizos dentro de la Unión Europea. Este bloqueo en el Consejo tiene que acabar, porque si no acaba, a quienes se les va a acabar la paciencia es a los ciudadanos y ciudadanas de estos países. Hablamos mucho de solidaridad en estos días, pero la solidaridad tiene que aplicarse a todos. No se puede pedir solidaridad a Rumanía y a Bulgaria cuando la Unión Europea no está cumpliendo con sus propias normas. Es la mejor receta para alimentar la desafección hacia Europa y el apoyo a mensajes populistas antieuropeos. Espero que este Parlamento adopte una resolución con un mensaje muy claro al Consejo y que el Consejo lo escuche y actúe. Me parece que ya es hora. Muchas gracias.
Paljon kiitos puheenjohtaja edustaja García Pérez, ja nyt sitten Renew-ryhmän nimissä edustaja Sophie Netfeld.
Thank you, Chair. Dear colleagues, as we have heard, the assessment that Bulgaria and Romania are ready for accession to Schengen has been made a long time ago by the experts and by the Commission already back in 2011. It is now 2022, 11 years later, and colleagues, I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed towards the Bulgarian and the Romanian citizens who rightly feel that they are not treated equally and that they didn't get the same right to borderless travel. I feel ashamed for the Council to have stalled this long and for not honouring its commitment. We have established common procedures and evaluation mechanisms, and we should respect the outcome. No moving goalposts. And the Schengen process should not become a proxy battlefield for other political issues. And last but not least, colleagues, I'm ashamed for the Dutch government, because it's the Dutch government that has been one of the main obstacles here, and largely for political reasons, domestic political reasons. Respect for European rules is not a one-way street. There cannot be double standards. So, from this position, I would like to call on Prime Minister Rutte to respect the rules and support the accession of Bulgaria and Romania to the Schengen zone. Because I think in these times we have to put European unity before national politics. Bulgaria and Romania belong in Schengen. Thank you.
Kiitokset edustaja Sophie Netfeld.
It's in the common interest of the EU to have all member states be part of the Schengen area. And therefore we welcome today's discussion to overcome the current two-tier system and bring in member states that are still in waiting room and thus lift the unequal treatment of citizens of the EU. Yet accession to the Schengen area is not a right, it's a responsibility as well. It means carrying out the Schengen acquis in full compliance with fundamental rights. And this is where we still have some serious concerns. In the past years, there has been mounting evidence of systematic pushbacks and border violence in Bulgaria as well as Romania. Human Rights Watch reports that Bulgarian authorities were beating, robbing, stripping and using police dogs on asylum seekers and migrants as they pushed them back to Turkey. In Romania, uniformed border guards were seen pushing back people to Serbia. Allowing Schengen accession in the face of such reports de facto also means condoning these grave violations of the rights of migrants and refugees. But my group, let me be clear, my group urges for a merit-based objective decision on a Schengen accession for both countries. So I call upon all member states to do the same. Assess the merits, take the Schengen standards seriously, but don't mix it up with other more political considerations, just only because you can, because you have a veto. And if Bulgaria agrees with this position, it has to act consistently and stop using its veto during the accession process of North Macedonia to the EU. So, Chair, Schengen can only remain the jewel in the crown if we all live up to the standards of Schengen, before but also after the accession. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleague Strick, it's my duty to remind you that the colleague has to wait until she is or he is invited to speak. It is my duty to remind you. Sorry, I know you didn't do it on purpose. Seuraavaksi meillä on puhuja ID-ryhmästä Guido Reil, olkaa hyvä.
Frau Präsidentin, liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, wir reden heute über den Beitritt von Rumänien und Bulgarien in den Schengen-Raum. Und viele in Deutschland denken sich doch jetzt, ja, das ist doch schon so. Deswegen leben doch in Deutschland jetzt ca. 10-mal so viele Rumänen und Bulgaren wie vor 10 Jahren. Und diese Menschen beziehen oftmals Sozialleistungen, beziehen oftmals Kindergeld für Kinder in der Heimat. Und sie arbeiten oftmals im Niedriglohnsektor, gerne in der Fleischindustrie, wo sie unter sklavenähnlichen Bedingungen ausgebeutet werden und zum Lohndumping beitragen. Also alles nichts wirklich Positives. So vor einem halben Jahr bin ich durch Rumänien gefahren auf meiner Reise in die Ukraine und ich habe Rumänien kennengelernt. Und ich möchte Rumänien mal freundlich so beschreiben: Rumänien ist der wilde Westen von Europa. Also wilder Westen mitten in Europa. In der Ukraine habe ich eine deutlich bessere Infrastruktur gesehen und deutlich mehr Ordnung. Die Frage ist, wie konnte es passieren? Wie konnte ein Land mit solcher Infrastruktur, ein Land, das so korrupt und so kriminell ist, Mitglied der Europäischen Union werden. War da mal keiner gucken, habe ich mich da gefragt, als ich so durch dieses Land gefahren bin. War da mal keiner gucken? Anscheinend nicht. So, und nun ist viel Geld geflossen in den letzten Jahren. Man meint ja immer, wenn man in korrupte Länder Geld investiert, dann wird alles besser. Nee, diese korrupten Strukturen nutzen dieses Geld. So stellt zum Beispiel eine Studie des Zentrums der Demokratie fest, der Betrag mit EU-Geldern ist vergleichbar mit den größten Märkten der organisierten Kriminalität, wie Menschenhandel, damit meinen die Prostitution und Schlepperei, Drogenhandel und illegaler Kraftstoff. So viel Geld bringt das Geld der EU. Circa knapp 2 Milliarden sind da verpufft in kriminelle Strukturen. Die bulgarisch-türkische Grenze war jahrelang in der Hand der Mafia. Jetzt wurde zurückerobert, munkelt man. Das heißt, die Mafia trägt da jetzt Uniform. Also sind unerträgliche Zustände. Und damit muss Schluss sein. Wir brauchen Rumänien und Bulgarien nicht im Schengen-Raum und auch nicht in der EU. Danke.
Dear colleague, I have to remind you about the Rule 10, which says that improper behavior is not acceptable in this chamber. And I would interpret your words about a member state, calling the member state a Wild West in a very degrading way is not acceptable. And I will convey this message to the President to take potential measures. So please, let's return to the order. I would like to give the floor to Angel Janbatski from ECR Group. The floor is yours.
Благодаря ви, уважаема госпожо председател. Надявам се наистина да вземете мерки, както заявихте. Уважаеми колеги, неприсъединяването на България и на Румъния към Шенген е истински политически позор за ръководството на Европейския съюз. Истински политически позор, защото всички вие в тази зала, за който между другото ви поздравявам, потвърждавате факта, че и България и Румъния са изпълнили всички критерии и трябва да бъдат част от шенгенското пространство. Обаче не става. Защо не става, колеги? Защото една държава официално, това е Нидерландия, правителството на Нидерландия, не цялата Нидерландия, и останалите държави са се запънали и пречат на това по вътрешно-политически причини, за да не си причинят някаква вреда вътре в къщи. Ето това е двоен стандарт. Вие тук ни показвате, че има повече европейци и по-малко европейци. Показвате, че има европейци първа ръка и европейци втора ръка. Ето това е лицемерие, това е двуличие и това е неприемливо за нас. И това е срам и позор за тези държави, които го правят. Точно те, които нас ни учат как да се държим с държавите, които бъдат кандидати за членство, как трябва да разширяваме Европейския съюз, как трябва да сме едно голямо, весело, щастливо семейство. Какво правят? Оставят България, Румъния и Хърватска отстрани. И това е лицемерие, и това е двуличие, и това е изключително непочтено. Ние всички знаем защо е така. Основната причина не е дори политиката, а икономиката. Когато ние румънците сме извън Шенген, ние не можем да возим, ние сме от най-големите превозвачи, нашите камиони чакат по границите, нашите шофьори се бавят, нашия бизнес загива, взима се хляб от ръцете на българските предприемачи и на румънските предприемачи. И това е позор. Вземете мерки и се накарайте правителствата да свършат работата. Благодаря.
Kiitos kollega Janbatski. Ja sitten vasemmistoryhmän nimissä edustaja Claire Daly, olkaa hyvä.
Thanks very much, President. I want to welcome and support the accession of new countries to Schengen. I firmly believe in the free movement of absolutely everybody. But I find it very hard to separate Schengen expansion from the violence that is going on the edges of Europe. The grotesque and spectacular violence and abuse against refugees trying to enter Croatia and to a lesser extent Bulgaria and Romania makes it very hard to shake the impression that the EU is demanding that these countries prove that they'll stop at nothing to keep migrants out as a price for free movement. The EU seems to have developed a habit of rewarding appalling behaviour with free movement. Qatar murders thousands of migrant workers we reward them with visa-free travel. Croatian border guards beat, torture, rape, imprison and push back migrants, and we reward them by fast-tracking their Schengen accession application. This is the same Croatia which tried to suppress a report of the European Committee for the Prevention of Torture into horrifying abuse, the same Croatia that lied to this Parliament about what's going on its borders, and the same Croatia whose sham monitoring mechanism couldn't find any evidence of pushbacks. We can only hope that Bulgaria and Romania don't look at Croatia's reward and decide to escalate their violence against migrants in the hope of impressing the psychopathic EU establishment with their commitment.
Paljon kiitos edustaja Daly. Ja sitten sitoutumattomien nimissä annan puheenvuoron edustaja Bolas Hidvegille. Olkaa hyvä.
Thank you, President. Dear colleagues, free movement between member states without internal border controls is one of the most tangible achievements of EU cooperation. If one has to summarize why it's a good thing to have the European Union, despite all its failings and imperfections, then the provision of this fundamental human freedom to our peoples is certainly one of them. So it is ever more important, then, to ensure that this freedom is granted to all who fulfill the necessary criteria. Now, Romania and Bulgaria fulfilled the necessary conditions more than 10 years ago. 4 member states, however, the Netherlands, Germany, France and Finland, have blocked their accession, citing mainly rule of law concerns. Now, those concerns, if they were real, should have been addressed directly and immediately. The more than 10-year-long delay, however, does give one the impression that perhaps other reasons played a part. Reasons related to commercial interests, internal political matters, or perhaps just double standards so often applied by the West against Eastern Europeans. We haven't really heard any convincing argument yet of why keep Romania and Bulgaria out and excluded. It is high time to pay this old debt and allow these countries to join the Schengen area immediately. Thank you.